What is going on, YouTube? I am Lamont at large. Today I am at the Cleburne Memorial Cemetery here in Cleburne, Texas. Today we're here to visit the grave of Josephine Myrtle Corbin, a woman who has led somewhat of an interesting life. She's just like any woman out there right now watching this video. She's just like you, except for one thing, and that is she was born with two vaginas. Let's get into it. Let's go to Lincoln County, Tennessee, May 12th, 1868. 34-year-old William Corbin and his 25-year-old wife, Nancy, are expecting a baby. They don't know if it's a boy or if it's a girl. Maybe they want one, maybe the other wants the other. They just want this baby to be healthy. Of course, the 1860s, diseases run rampant. They're just praying for a healthy baby. So Nancy is going into labor, and there's a doctor there helping her deliver her beautiful, bouncing bundle of joy. The baby comes out. The doctor says, "Congratulations, you have a beautiful baby girl. And by the way, she has 4 legs." I'm pretty sure the parents were shocked. I'm pretty sure the doctors were just as shocked. They probably have never heard of anything like this in their life, or at least seen it in front of their very own eyes. So Josephine Myrtle Corbin comes into the world on May 12th, 1868. And other than her legs that were in between her other legs, she was totally normal from the belly button up. Now, as she got older and doctors would examine her, she would know, of course, she probably already knew herself, that she had 2 vaginas, 2 different uteruses, 2 different menstrual cycles. Some of you ladies out there, not to get into that, but have a hard time dealing with one, imagine having 2. No jokes here. That's got to be a miserable existence, especially in the late 1800s when, we didn't have certain medications to relieve one's pain. Can you only simply imagine? So eventually the family moves to Texas. They come to Cleburne here, and the father, being somewhat of a shrewd businessman, says, hey, listen, the quote-unquote freak show circuit is wildly popular. People are paying good money to see people like my daughter. And, he's probably telling his wife, hey, listen, we're not doing the best financially. If we charge people a little bit of money to see her, why not? Let's do it. So he comes up with a plan. He starts printing out pamphlets, putting ads in newspapers all across Texas. Come see the 4-legged girl from Texas. That would be the title in some of his ads. And in the pamphlet, she was described as, quote, gentle of disposition as the summer sunshine and as happy as the day is long. Now, do you think you would be happy as a girl with 4 legs and people are paying to look at you, touch you, and prod you? Now, let's talk about her legs really quickly. Now, her legs, she could actually move them, but she could not stand on her legs. They were too weak. And people would pay 10 cents just to look at her. And I'm pretty sure, this is no joke right here, but a lot of times people, an extra nickel, they would get to touch the leg. That just is what it is. That's how we were back in those days. We kind of are like that nowadays because we have TikTok, so we have people with, deformities just kind of making their own little show, if you will. They do it on YouTube as well. So when Josephine was 13 years old, P.T. Barnum, who had already heard about this girl and came to Texas to meet her and was like, man, I got to have that girl in my show. So he sat down, talked to her parents, and they ended up making a deal where she would be paid $450 a week to be in a show. Now, you're 13 years old, you're getting paid $450 a week. In today's dollar, and I don't know if it counts for today's inflation dollar, but she was making about $14,000 a week. Okay, that's almost 60 grand a month. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Well over $500,000 a year. So she joins the circus and travels all over the country, all over the world. P.T. Barnum is making a killing. She's making a killing as well. And that is what she did for the next 4 or 5 years or so. At the age of 18, she made so much money, she retired. No more showing the legs thing, no more at all. Now, when she settles down, she had met a man who was a doctor. And both of them, I guess they loved each other. I hope they did. Because you would think this woman has a ton of money. She's probably, if she invested her money wisely, she's probably a millionaire. Or at least that's what I'm going to go ahead and guess. So she marries a man by the name of Dr. Clinton Bicknell in 1887 at the age of 19. Now, here's where the story gets even more interesting, if you can believe it. So they get married, and of course, when you get married, well, what do? You consummate your relationship. So one day, she is sick as a dog. She's like throwing up. She has a fever. She can't keep anything down. She's just terrible pain. She goes to the doctor, and the doctor is like, well, the reason why you're sick is because you're 3 months pregnant. And she said, what? And he said, yeah, it's you're pregnant in your left uterus. And she was surprised that she was pregnant in her left uterus. Why? Because she said she preferred to have intercourse in the right vagina. So the doctor said, well, whatever you like, whichever area you like it, it's in the left. Now, they were going to abort the baby because they were just thinking this ain't going to work. But just as they were going to do it, all of a sudden she became better. She felt good. She said, no, the heck with that. I'm going to have this baby. Not only did she end up having that baby, she ended up having 4 more. And all her children were healthy and normal as can be. And, this is where she ended up spending the rest of her life here in Cleburne, Texas. You might have seen, of course, surfing the internet, you would see many pictures, oddities. And when I first seen this picture, I was like, wow, I made it a point to one day come down here and, visit her grave. And when she was born, the doctors were trying to come up with something as to the reason for her being born with what they later called a dipygus, which is basically you're born with 2 pelvises. And they had looked at the mother and the father, and they noticed that Josephine's mom and dad, they looked really, really similar. They both had red hair. They both had very pale, bright blue eyes. And they both had very, very pale, fair skin. And however, they said that they were not related, and they made it a point to let it be known that they were not related. And they even had to put in all of the medical journals, they are not related. They look very much alike, but they are not related. So anyways, here we are at the grave of Josephine M. Bicknell. Just quite an amazing story. Definitely, something that she was born, some would say a disfigurement, but she turned it around and she became very, very wealthy off of that. So rest in peace to Josephine Myrtle Corbin Bicknell. She passed away about a week before her 50th birthday of streptococcus, which nowadays is a very easily treatable bacterial disease, I believe, but back in those days it was very, very deadly. So rest in peace here to Josephine. At rest. Okay, guys, I am Lamont at large. I'm gonna go over here and see what this dog's problem is, and maybe we can settle our differences with a couple pieces of beef jerky and a beer. I'm coming, boy, I'm coming. Guys, I'll catch up with you on the next vlog. Be good, y'all. Peace out. I'm coming, boy, I'm coming. I'm coming. I know. Okay, I'm on my way, I got it.